Hello, yes, and welcome to an episode of MLS Ireland. Will I be bringing to you very questionable predictions for week MLS 15, I think it is. Well, God knows what it is, so stay tuned. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean, and if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. I'm on 141 subscribers at the moment, which is pretty impressive for a person who talks absolute nonsense about what could happen, what usually doesn't happen. But you know, I'm not doing too bad. Anyway, this is my prediction show. This is my only fucking show. But if you like my watch along to the MLS Cup of MLS's final back cup, whatever it was. I'll put a link here somewhere. If you like that, let me know. I could do a few more, maybe. It's just watching, which is quite easy to do. It's pretty easy to edit together as well. So if you like that, let me know. And obviously you're here because of my idiotic predictions. Sure, I might as well start off with the first game, which is Orlando against New York Red Bulls. Orlando now are finally doing all right. They're getting along there. They're getting along there, and Red Bulls, they've won the last two games, which is pretty good for them because they haven't been on a great winning streak since then. They got granted to beat Inter Miami in Miami 4-1, and then they beat Montreal 4-1, which is, I could get a notion where they were going with this, but they're coming up against an Orlando team who are letting a few fans in who will be a bit more up for it. So Orlando are probably the better team. They're scoring more goals, they're letting less in, so that's pretty impressive for them saying that. So I'm going to go for probably like a 2-1 win to Orlando. They should get this one. Like I said that about San Jose get beat by LAFC, and look what happened. But what class? Next one is DC United against Atlanta United. DC United, who are in a bad, appalling run of form, against Atlanta, who are in a bad and appalling run of form. This game could only end one way. 3 goals each, or it could be 0-0. Two teams are just basically I think they've given up on life. Why wouldn't you? So saying that DC United probably are in a better run of form. They've only lost last two. No, the team are actually in worse form. Atlanta are above them, but just in awful shape. Awful shape. This one's actually going to be a tricky one. I do think DC United could get this one, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 win. It's just two teams down on their luck, and Atlanta is going to be out of luck. To be fair, in the last 8 games, the two teams are the worst in form. Winning 1, drawing 2, and losing 5. The only thing that's keeping them up is DC United letting more goals. No, sorry, Atlanta scored more goals. That's the reason why. And DC United letting less, 13. DC United should win that one. Anyway, Montreal against Chicago Fire. Montreal are probably a better team now in this stage of the season. They're coming up against a team who are not in a great shape at the start of the season. Even though that they won the last 2 games against Atlanta and Houston, which was pretty good results, but like I said, Montreal are a team to be freaked out about. They're lost the last 4 games, but they won a game against Vancouver, which I think they played them several times. So Montreal against Chicago Fire, you would expect Montreal with their style. They started very well last week, and then they got annihilated by Red Bulls, but still they started well. Bojan scored a very, 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 very good goal. But coming up against Chicago Fire, I do think Chicago Fire could win this one. So I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to Chicago Fire. Chicago Fire are probably in a better shape at the moment, so I'm going to go for that. The next one is New England against Nashville. New England are actually not doing too bad. They won the last 2 games against DC United and Montreal, and they're coming up against a Nashville team who they drew their last game. Where are we? Against Houston, then beat DC United, then lost Columbus, beat Atlanta. So they're not doing too bad. Saying that, New England are probably the better team. Should be in this. They have a goal scorer. They're not conceding as much. They're like 7th in the league, which is pretty impressive. So I'm gonna go for like a 2-0 win to New England. It's probably gonna be like a 1-0, but I'm gonna go for a 2-0. I think, and it's just maybe one of those stupid, weird games. So 2-0. Gonna stick with that, and no explanation. The next one is Toronto against Philadelphia. Battle of the top 3, chances of getting to the top. Philadelphia, who are second on joint points of Toronto. Toronto are probably in a better run of form at the moment, but in the last 8 games, Philadelphia are the informed team. So saying that, I do think Philadelphia will have a good game in this one, but I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. And Toronto will probably concede the first 2, and then probably come back into it. And unless if they are playing at home, I can't remember where they're playing at the moment. Could be 2-2, so I'm going to stick with 2-2. The next one is Houston Dynamo against Sporting Kansas City. Houston, as I said, were a good team until they sold their better player, and now they haven't really won a game since. They drew against Nashville and lost to Chicago, which was pretty bad for them. And they're coming up against a Sporting Kansas City team who lost their last 2 games against Dallas and Orlando, but are probably the better team, but they're away from home. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Sporting Kansas City should do better in this one, but I can't see it, so I'm going to go, like I said, 1-1 draw. It's 2 teams that are not really going for it, so I'm going to go for that. Next one is Inter Miami against New York City FC. Inter, I'm starting to think Higuain may enjoy this game. This game's going to be a bit more. Inter Miami at home should do well on this one. I was going to say win, but I don't think they should win. Going to win. So I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to New York City. New York City probably, after the last few games there, they're looking pretty impressive, even though that they got beat. Oh, come on. They got beat by Toronto, which wasn't a bad thing to do, but to beat Cincinnati quite well. They're coming up against a team who are probably a bit better, but it's just as fragile at the back, as I could say. And well, what place me Twitty, you don't know, but I'm still going to go with that. New York City should win this one quite easily. And then the next one, so I'm going to, well, did I say? I can't remember. So I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win. Probably said different, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. The next one is Minnesota against FC Cincinnati. Where is FC Cincinnati? They are 3rd from bottom and not doing too well. They're coming up against a Minnesota team who should probably win this one, so I'm going to go for a straight up 2-0 win. Minnesota are a very good team at the moment. They're sitting in the middle of the table above LAFC, which is, you wouldn't have thought that at the start of the season, but well, I didn't. Yeah, they should win that one quite easily. The next one is FC Dallas against Columbus Crew. Columbus Crew against FC Dallas. This is the game where FC Dallas will probably win this one stupidly. FC Dallas, they were in a good run of form there. They won 3 and then they lost 1 and drew 1, which wasn't great, but they got beat by Atlanta, which was pretty bad. Then they drew against Orlando, which wasn't too bad of a result. But they're coming up against the Columbus Crew team who can be easily fought out. They lost their last game, Columbus Crew, against Toronto, which I didn't expect. So saying that, I do think FC Dallas will cause an upset in this one, because Columbus Crew who are still without Nagby. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for FC Dallas. The next one is Seattle against Vancouver. Seattle should win this one quite easily. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win. The next game is San Jose Earthquakes against LA Galaxy. San Jose, I kind of had a wee feeling that they were going to lose quite badly last week, and they didn't. So, coming up in against an LA Galaxy team who are 10th in the form charts, but 21 in the whole league. And San Jose are 23rd. And the forms, they're 24th, which is pretty bad. So this game is really going to be interesting. I don't really think this game is going to be too much of a panic, but I do think San Jose may actually nick a result in this one, so I'm going to go for going to go for like a 3-2. I think San Jose won. They beat LA Galaxy the last time, so I'm going to go for a similar kind of result. The next one is, and the last one is Real Salt Lake against LAFC. Real Salt Lake, who are still weird. 17th in the form, and then where are they? Overall, they're like 15th in the table. Coming up against an LAFC team who should be doing well, but they're not, which is very surprising. But I do think LAFC are probably the better team in this one, so I'm going to go for like a 3-1 win to LAFC. Agreeing. This game could be anyway. And Real Salt Lake have the capability of winning, so like a 2-0 win. But I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to LAFC. And this is it. If you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. Those are my predictions, and I shall see you on the next one, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, one of the two. Bye now.